How's it going, folks? I'm DFC Dave, and I'm going to do an in-depth review of Luke Cage because I marathoned the damn thing. I saw all 13 episodes, and you guys get to see it Sunday. So first and foremost, always, no spoilers in the beginning. I'll give you guys the warning, and if you haven't finished it, I'll try to keep it generally spoiler-free. I'm not going to be like, oh, he dies in the end. He doesn't. Or he does, maybe. Who knows? But I'm just saying. Gotta keep it as spoilery-free. I'm not trying to ruin the ending for anybody. You know, he becomes a Jedi, or doesn't. Who knows? He doesn't. Alright, so, my general thoughts. First, and we always kind of start our reviews with this, parental warnings. Pretty graphic violence. Nudity. New to Marvel. Not a whole lot. In fact, it's literally one scene of like a kind of shadowy boob, but you definitely, it's a full-on boob. And then there's a strip club scene that's quite long where the girls are wearing, you know, their under jockeys and the pasties, and they're just kind of out and about for a while. So if you got folks you don't want seeing that kind of action, you know, it's rated TVMA, just giving you guys a heads up. The violence, pretty brutal. You know, it's, if you watch the Marvel PG-13 movies, it's not quite like the Daredevil movie level of like super graphic, but there's pretty brutal scenes of violence in this. So again, if you have people in your life that, especially the younger ones who are really into Marvel and you're a little worried, you know, maybe steer them away ski. Alright, so my general thoughts on it, just on the whole, compared to some of the other stuff that's out there. I like the Netflix series as a whole a little bit more than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or some of the other kind of spin-offs they did with Cap's girlfriend, her show. Stuff like that. I just really into hers. I watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I generally like that, and there are parts of it where I really get into it, but on the whole, I really enjoy the Netflix series. Even Jessica Jones, which if you guys watched my review, wasn't the most glowing praise of it, I still enjoyed it. Alright. So, getting a little closer to spoilers, but not really spoilers, the nitpicks. Because like I said, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars on Netflix. Couple little things. First and foremost, toxic fans that were just kind of like trying to make it more political than just to be like, oh, another superhero, like, cool, I enjoy it. Like, I can understand, you know, if that truly is the most important thing, is what a superhero looks like to you, good for you. Everybody deserves an opinion. You know what they say about opinions, and I'll just keep it with that. You know, if that's the most important thing, it's cool for you. They definitely hammered it hard in this, and I can understand. You know, that's who they were definitely trying to aim this series at, even when sometimes there was kind of a disconnect between the message. Like, they kept bringing up Trayvon Martin, but it's also, the show is heavily centered on the idea of like police violence, and Trayvon wasn't killed by a cop. You know, that a little bit heavy-handed on like the political stuff, which was a little annoying. And then one minor's kind of gripe. Somewhere down the line, somebody gets a power item, and in my head, I'm watching, you know, a super dude who can punch through walls and, you know, throw people across streets and stuff. So, you know, like, my love to disbelieve, to enjoy the story is definitely turned way up. But this power item does not make any sense as to how it would actually do the thing it does. I'll leave it as that. If you've seen it, you definitely understand what I'm talking about. Later on, okay, this power item turns into something that makes more sense. But when it's first shown in what it appears to be, it's like, how does that do the thing that it's doing effectively? And when we get to the spoiler section, I'll definitely bring that point up, because it was literally the biggest issue I had in the series. Character portrayals, and this is where I guess anybody who hasn't seen it and doesn't want any spoilers whatsoever, I enjoyed it, but, you know, I don't want to ruin anything for you guys, so catch it back when you guys have caught up and got a chance to watch all the episodes. We're moving into slight spoiler territory, no giant major story spoilers, but this will definitely, these are naming characters, so if you don't want to know anything about it, click off the video. Alright, here we go. Obviously, the titular character, Luke Cage. I really liked him in Jessica Jones. He's really good in this. Very strong lead actor. Easily, you know, the best character in the series. Behind the two female co-leads with him, really. Of Misty Knight and Claire Temple. Both did an amazing job, but dude playing Luke Cage, Mike Coulter, I believe is his name. Really great, just hell of a job. Everything was really well done. Because I'm gonna be fair, I had real issues with Daredevil and Jessica Jones where they were telling secondary character stories and me being just, I don't give a shit about this. Whether it was Newspaper Dude in season 1 of Daredevil, or Tess and Jessica Jones, just didn't give a shit about their side stories. Like, you're not the hero. And granted, I'll be completely fair, I'm a big Iron Fist guy, so telling Misty Knight's story as the side story, I'm gonna give you some leniency. Like, that, I was down to see that. I was down to clown, as some people say. The other characters, again, if you don't want to hear who the bad guys are, time to click off. You've been warned. So the most basic one, Cottonmouth. And if you're like, oh, is he the guy they made the figure for? No, there's two Cottonmouths in the Marvel Universe. You're thinking of the Serpent Society one who unhinges his jaw and he can do some weird stuff. This is more pulp comics. He had sharp teeth and some level of super strength, but not as strong as Luke Cage. And in this, he's just a normal dude. He was kind of hinted at being possibly super strong, but again, nowhere near Luke Cage. If he was, it was closer to like a Captain America than Luke Cage. I can stop a car, like by palming it. Or like bullets bounce off me. Like, this dude was much more grounded, but there's one scene where it kind of hinted that he might have super strength. Theo Rossi. I love Sons of Anarchy, so to see Juicy Boy in this as Shades, you know, it touched my geek boner and stroked it off. Sorry. Sorry for that analogy. But yeah, I really enjoyed him. Easily my favorite of the bad guys they had in here. Black Mariah. At first I was kind of a little miffed because Suicide Squad had kind of gone with a thinner Amanda Waller. So when we got Black Mariah and she was, like, I mean, she's definitely a curvy woman, but she's not a big girl. I was kind of like, again, really? But damn, did she act her ass off. She did a great job. But above everyone else, my MVP for this, in terms of performance, the dude who played Pops. Just terrific. Really made me believe in him. I really wish we would have got more time with him, but you know how things go. Other characters to kind of talk about. This is deeper towards mid-season spoilers, so again, you've been warned. So Curtis Stryker. Diamondback. Really good character. Hints of Purple Man, which I really liked. Of just being this... He's definitely not right in the head. He's just going around killing people. Definitely just... He brought the creepy. But like at the same time, like where Purple Man was kind of Loki-esque, where, you know, he might kill you, but at the same time, like, who knows what he's thinking. Stryker was straight up like, he will kill you at any time, any place. Don't cross paths with him, you know. Just great performance. Alright, so I kind of talked about it earlier, but I wanted to get through all this stuff. Here come the major spoilers, so if you haven't seen it all and you don't want things spoiled, click off, come back, and you'll be able to hear like this discussion part. Alright, so I was talking about it earlier. Spoiler, giving you guys the warning, so don't jump in here and complain to me. Diamondback, when he's just wearing the gloves, how does that give him super punching ability? They're just gloves. And we see that they're just gloves attached to a backpack. Like, how does... They're not like crossbones, like pneumatic big O punching gauntlet things from Civil War. Like, I don't understand how that let him punch people through buildings and shit. Like, they're just gloves. What the hell? One kind of minor thing I had an issue with is a lot of the characters were kind of built very, very similarly. Like, you had Misty Knight's captain before she gets taken down, who's very motherly and she's taking care of her. So then her captain leaves and she gets the new captain, who is apparently her old friend, but now her superior. But she's also very motherly, and it's just like, what is this? You just kind of, two characters that are way too similar. And then you had Curtis Stryker and, I can't think of what his name was, but he was Luke Cage's friend in prison. Like, at first I was like, are they supposed to be the same character? But then I was like, oh, no, I guess not. Because, like, they were like, oh, he died in prison, but you never see the body. So I'm like, oh, you know, maybe he didn't die. And we got, like, a lot of characters, like, oh, that's cool, a name drop here and there. Like, my favorite was, in the last episode, you see, again, spoilers, Colleen Wing, self-defense class. I was like, oh, right in the nerd area that I talked about earlier. I won't bring up again. You know, it's like, oh, that's cool. And like, you had a Tombstone name drop, but he wasn't Tombstone yet, which was cool. But he also wasn't albino, which I guess fair enough, because how many albino black actors are there? So, my general thoughts on Luke Cage. I thought very, very excellent. Really handled a lot of things that could have been really shittily done pretty well. At times a little heavy-handed on the message they were trying to go for. My only scene that I kind of was like, oh, I kind of wish this wasn't in there, was the Method Man. Luke Cage saves him, and Method Man thanks him by writing a rap about Luke Cage. Just like, But, you know what, I'm sure for some people out there that grew up in huge Method Man fans, like, that was the coolest thing to them. So, I'm just saying as a, you know, nerdy comic book guy, wasn't for me, but I'm sure some kid out there that's just getting into Luke Cage, grew up on Wu-Tang Clan, you know, like, that just made their day. So, alright guys, I'm going to cut this off because I'm kind of getting into ramble mode. I really enjoyed it. You guys heard my parental warnings, so you know if you got kids or people that you don't want exposed to certain things, you've got the warning. But other than that, if you're an adult and you like a lot of the other Netflix series, where do I rate it compared to the other ones? I still have to put Daredevil Season 2 as my favorite Netflix show. But then Luke Cage, Daredevil Season 1, Jessica Jones. And they're all good, so, you know, just enjoy it, man. I mean, we live in a magical age where you get comic book just stuff showing up. Hulu's getting the Runaways. I mean, it's just amazing. Alright, guys. This has been my review of Luke Cage. Like and favorite. I'm Dave. Bye.